Okay, so gonna give this Assetto Corsa a bit of a run. Got a nice open-eared, what's that, Lotus. Oh, straighten that up. It's better. Let's just make sure it's straight. Yeah, very cool thing about this is you can move these around. I had it down the bottom, but I couldn't see it down there because it's behind my wheel. So I actually got to put it up there, and that is freaking amazing. And I've had this one here, and on the other screen, which you can't see, I've got this one, which is my frames. It's floating 55 at the moment, but that's on absolutely maxed out graphics. And I mean, like, everything turned on. It's not very often you get that sort of, right? And of course you've got a clutch there, full clutch support. I haven't got an H-pad and shifter yet, so I'm still working on that. Should be here next week, and I do not know this course at all, so I just have to drive nice and slowly to get the hang of it. I have not played a game with such. This game plays so well. I spent a long time racing at iRacing. I suppose it's not playing, is it? Racing. But I really, I don't know. The race. I had some really good races on iRacing, but I just really never. I just felt like the cars were like. It felt like you're just driving on ice the whole time. They were great, gone. And even in the little MX-5, you'd come around a corner too fast, and it would just, that would be it. It would be all over, and the thing would just spin on the spot, and oh no, it's got really frustrating. The online side of things was great. There's always a race available. There's always something to race against. And of course, in this, you don't have that. There's no multiplayer. I don't think there's any multiplayer yet. I guess it's still being worked on. But, well, since this isn't, I think it's only an alpha at the moment. But it's just, it feels so right. You can catch slides, I can sit here and hot lap for, I've spent an hour just driving around in circles on a track before. Yeah, it's a really solid feeling for an alpha. It's amazing. I crash, no problems. Occasional graphical little flickers happen here and there, but nothing to worry about that much. Now, this track's really quite small. You really never get to open this car up. Yeah, that's it. Good 50 frames. Smooth. See, I caught it. If that was iRacing, the car would have been around. Even the MX-5's the slowest car on the frickin' game. Yeah, see, while I'm having a bitch about iRacing, I really hate that you have to buy something before you try it. I was kind of interested in getting a few cars, but I was a bit worried. Like, I wanted the V8s, just because it's a really good following for them as well as. It's good tracks and cool car, but it was from the way that the free cars that I got given, well, free, I mean you have to pay for the subscription every year. It was I didn't really trust that it was going to be a car that I liked, so I didn't want to go spend the money on it and go, yeah, this feels like it's a frickin', like I say, just driving on ice the whole time. And then I'd never race it because I'd feel it was, just too much. I'm not the best sim racer in the world. I don't have any aids on, but I like I want something that feels like a car that you'd actually drive around a racetrack. Okay, I've never driven a V8 supercar, but I've driven a fair decent amount of cars in my time, and I've never driven a car that handles how they do with iRacing. So, whereas this just feels like it's you know, it just feels like I've taken my wee car out for a hoon around whatever track. I don't even know the name of the track. But yeah, great game. If anyone's into racing games, I highly recommend this. It's like I said, it's alpha at the moment, but God, it's good. It's really a game that you drive with your accelerator and some of the more powerful cars too. Some of the cars I don't think I've ever actually floored it yet. I've done several laps in them, and some of these smaller tracks, you're only ever feathering the throttle. Even this, I'm really barely getting this up to any rest in that. Oh, I appear to have just lost one of my screens for no apparent reason. Oh, there it goes, it's back in. It's gone again. Something's playing over web there. It's the computer, not the game. A few loose connections from all the vibrations from this new wheel. Got a I had phonetic. It just sounded like a bit of a bitch session. I had a phonetic GT2 Porsche wheel, which at the time I thought was just amazing. But my God, just nothing but problems. Honestly, the worst freaking. I would never, from my experience with that wheel, I would never suggest a phonetic. It started just drifting off halfway through a race. It would start meandering, you know, or the wheel would be off centre, and it'd be like 15, 20, 25 degrees by the end of a race. So you're driving down the straights and it's on a freaking hell of an angle. So I thought, oh well, it's probably just an electronic thing. So on Trade Me here, which is kind of like an eBay, I guess, I found another cheap one. Only a couple of dollars. I think it cost me about $20. And I thought I'll grab it and I'll pull the PCB out and I'll swap the PCB over and see if that, you know, see if it's an electronic problem. So I got the new one, plugged it in, and the damn thing was out by 360 degrees. So in its rotation one way, and I had just no idea. It was just so I had a bit of a play around. Swapped a few of the PCBs over, didn't fix any problems, but both ended up just being, you know, exactly the same. Even swapping the PCBs from one to the other, apparently it wasn't a PCB problem, must have been a sensor somewhere or something, I don't know. But I couldn't be bothered with it anymore, and went out and got myself the T500, which was obviously a pretty large outlay. But wow, don't regret it for a second. This thing just does what it's supposed to do, and it feels like you could be the strongest growing man in the world, and you know you're not going to, unless you tried to break it. It just feels solid, which is a huge bonus. I'm a big guy, you know, and I really wrench on these things, especially if I'm drifting or something. I'm really freaking cranking them around. And the Fanatic often felt like I was just going to... never broke, as well, yeah, it did actually in the end, it freaking did break, but I wonder if that was why, I don't know. I've still got the Club Sport pedals. I love those, I love the Club Sport pedals, but even those, I constantly have problems with them. Every time I plug them in, I have to plug them in 3 or 4 times, because they just don't register. Or they'll connect, then disconnect, connect, disconnect for like, just every 2 seconds they'll be on, off, and it's, and you have to unplug it, turn them on, turn them off, unplug it at the USB, and then you've got to, sometimes I just actually have to reset the PC to get them to work, which is just, it's frustrating, but they're such good pedals, you know. The load cell is amazing. The nice solid construction. They kind of feel like what a set of race pedals would kind of feel like. I had them inverted for a long time, which was really cool. They just felt like my regular driver. Yeah, all fun and games. So yeah, as you can see at this game, it just really does just feel like you're just out on a track day, just cruising around in my automobile. This is Assetto Corsa. This is some track I should learn the name of. And let's just back into the pits here. My windscreen's all dirty. If you're playing this game and you're having some trouble with colour saturation and it just looking wrong, just rather than playing with the HDR colours, just go through and play with the anti-aliasing, and I think it was one of the other ones there. I ended up having a bit of a I'm not sure if I meant to run those cones over or not. But yeah, if you ever play with those, it made the colours that much better. The head tracking's nowhere near sensitive enough. It's a wee way out. I just have to tilt my head twice as far as what I should have to. And I've turned it up to full speed, but I don't know why. I guess it's to stop people, you know, when they move too much in their seats. When they're driving, it would get a bit bobby. You go into a corner, you're like, whoa, bob. So it does get a bit tricky. Or those people that lean when they drive, you know, just go around the corner, holding on. Oh no, that's right, get around this corner. Whereas, yeah, it's nice to be able to look in your mirrors though. Make sure they're clear. I can't quite get that far on the other side. I can see it on my other screen, right? Yeah, not in that one. Anyway, that's Assetto Corsa, and if you're into racing games, definitely get it available on Steam. Like I say, it's probably my favourite racing game at the moment, and I believe I just read today that they're going to be releasing, they're going to do the Nürburgring, but it's not going to be released until like September. In saying that, the game's obviously not even out yet as such, it's still alpha. So there is only a limited number of tracks that are available for it, and a limited number of cars, but what's there is very good and very well made, so I would suggest buy it.